Hello everybody, it's VG time back again with another deck profile, and we, as the title talks about, are going to talk about King Piccolo. So King Piccolo is one of those decks that had a lot of hype when format first was, the cards were first being revealed. People first started testing with decks. The deck got hyped up really hard, and then people just stopped really taking it to events. You look at tournament breakdowns, you might see one player play it. But I actually think this deck is the most powerful deck in set 12 by a mile. And it's definitely something that should be looked at for budget-minded players, because even this budget list is very powerful and more powerful than a lot of decks. And if you like playing red aggressive strategies and don't want to play like red Broly, this is where he will go. So let's get into the leader, what he does, and that way you can know what's going on. And again, for those that are around, I got timestamps down below. So if you don't want to listen to me drone on about the cards, you can always go to the part that you care about. So the leader has a permanent. You start with 6 life. Now that right there turned a lot of people off as soon as they read it. They just said, nah, that's not for me, Chief. And I get it, because there's a lot of aggressive strategies out there, and weighing at 6 life could possibly cause you problems. But he awakens very conveniently, so we'll get to that in a second. Auto, he gets a swing, take a Demon Clan or a Namekian from your hand, put it face up in your life, and then grab a card from your life and add it to your hand. So this allows you to exchange cards, but not necessarily draw cards. We have another card that helps you out with that. But that is very powerful. And then it has Awaken. If you have 2 or more cards face up in your life, or you're at 2 or less life, you get to draw 3, and then take the top card of your life and put it, top card of your deck and put it in your life face down. So you heal 1 on Awaken as well as draw 3. On the back is where the prego, the ragu happens. Auto, swing. Choose up to 3 total of the Namekians and our Demon Clans in your hand. Put it into your life, and then take back that many cards from your life to your hand. Insane. This then turns your entire life area into a known quantity, because it's easy to, on turn 3, have all your life face up, know what is there, and then be able to play accordingly. That means you don't have to worry about if a promo or a SCR or anything like that is in your life, because you will be able to see it. And because you can swap in and out every time you swing, it allows you to toolbox those cards. In fact, if you wanted to go against hand control or something, and you wanted to protect a card, you could just put the card into your life until you need it, and then swing with your leader and get the card back. So I just think that is insane. And then the activate battle just literally didn't need to exist. You get to combo with a face-up Demon Clan and a Namekian as an activate battle once per turn. So he gets free combo power, and it's important with the cards in the deck because it turns all those cards into free guys. So let's start with the King Piccolos. King Piccolo Dragon Ball Session. He's a top 5 searcher for Namekians, Demon Clans, or 2-cost specified red unisons. So he basically searches the entire deck except for like 1 battle card that is part of the archetype. King Piccolo, the new ruler. I think this card is in red staple status. I think if you're playing red and you have unisons in your deck, you should just have this card. Activate main, you get to play him out for free if you have a unison with 3 or more counters on it. He can't be blocked while he's attacking, and he becomes a 20k for the turn that you play him. At the end of the turn, you send him to warp, so he's sort of like an overwhelm, and you gotta be like careful with how you play him. And also, if you use his activate main, you can't play other copies of him for the turn. Then to me, one of the best cards in the deck, King Piccolo Time to Fight. This guy EX evolves on top of a King Piccolo with cost 3 or less. And on play, he gets to search your deck for a Namekian or a Demon Clan with cost 4 or less, or the red specified to Unison, and put it into your hand. And then on play or when he attacks once per turn, you get to choose one of your Demon Clans and give it plus 20k power. I can't even say too much about that. Now, what makes him great is that he gets to save this guy. So you swing with him for 20, you evolve, you get your card, you pump something else. Now you didn't just lose a card, which is what I love about this guy as well. Then your quote-unquote boss monster, your boss monster, King Piccolo, Evil Dictator. This guy is kind of win more. I hardly ever use him because usually my opponent is dead before I even get to the chance to use him. But basically, you could play this guy for 1 energy if you sack 40k power or more of Demon Clan on your board, which is very easy to do because of his ability to give him plus 20k. So you could break it down to being 1 card or even 2 cards that allow you to bring this guy out. He's 25k, dual attack, double striker. And on auto, he allows himself, when he is KO'd or removed by skill, to put into play for your life face up a 4 cost or less Piccolo Jr. So next up we play the Throat Baby, Piccolo Jr., the King's Return. You have a lot of options for this spot. You have the Draft Box 6 Green Red Piccolo Jr., which is actually quite a good card. But the reason why I'm using this, you also have the TP promo, which I don't have. But even if I had the TP promo, I would just trim other cards and put the TP promo in and still use this as my main target. This card right here comes into play and gives any of your battle cards that are red plus 5k and double strike. So I even find myself searching this off of this guy just to play it to pump Demon Clan up by the 5k and give it double strike. And that's usually how I win the game. It's not really this guy right here. So, Piano, Demon Clan. Unique, which he had to be because he's kind of gross. Basically, auto once per turn, when a card from your hand or your deck is placed face up in your life, you get to draw a card. He also has an auto that if the leader card is King Piccolo card and you flip 1 face up card in your life face down, when this card is placed in your drop area from the battle area by an opponent's skill, play this card with its skills negated. So while I was playing it, I was kind of playing it wrong because I didn't really read it, but it's actually very powerful. So your opponent goes through the effort of using resources to kill this guy. You just go flip and he's right back into play. And that's not a once per turn auto. So, like I mentioned, by turn 3, all your life is face up. So if they deal with them, flip, deal with them again, flip, you're good. Because you should have, memory enough to know what a couple of cards are in your life. So once you establish one, unless they warp it, you should be able to make sure that this guy stays on the table at all times. Tambourine, Reign of Terror. Now, the next 3 guys I show you are the guys that make the activate battle on your leader pretty stupid, because these guys all come into play for free. So Tambourine is the most overtly powerful one. Basically, if you have 3 or more cards face up in your life, or you have the red Unison, which we'll show you later on, and play with a card underneath it, this guy gains the pseudo dual attack that Digging Deep in cards like it has. So it gets a swing, restand, gain 5k. Next up we have Drum. Drum is a barrier blocker 15. When he comes into play, he -10s one of your opponent's battle cards. So he's great on your opponent's turn. And just going back to Tambourine for a second, if it wasn't obvious, Tambourine is meant to be used in conjunction with King Piccolo, Time to Fight, and with Evil Dictator. So you put this guy out for free, you swing with this guy, or you play him for the turn or whatever, give this guy a plus 20, and then he becomes 40 by himself, and then you can sack him off after you get your 2 swings in to play King Piccolo Evil Dictator. But usually what ends up happening is I make this guy, 35, 40. I play this dude right here, give him double strike, and then I'm swinging 45k double strike for 2 attacks in a row. If your opponent is getting through that, hey, it is what it is. You could still, at that point, go into King Piccolo Evil Dictator if you wanted to. Symbol. Symbol is probably the most powerful one in general. So, talk about this guy, finisher. This guy right here, amazing defensive card. This guy right here is card advantage. So, after you pitched off extra copies of piano, or after you blocked, the heavy attacks with drum and had him die, you could then use those cards with symbol to put underneath your unison with rejuvenate to tick that unison up and draw a card. And that's activate main once per turn. So if you happen to have multiple of these guys out, you're just drawing. And so that's why I think symbol is extremely powerful. And once we get to the unison and I explain how his mechanics work, you'll see why adding those extra counters is pretty clutch. Attack of the Demon Clan. This is the extra card that goes with the archetype. I run it at 2 because you either want to see in the beginning or at the end of the game, not necessarily in the mid time. And if it's in your life, you're not worried about it because your leader makes that a moot point. So, activate battle. You're able to choose one of your demon clans, put it face up in your life, and that's from your deck. You take it from your deck, put it face up in your life. Then you're able to combo with a demon clan that's face up in your life. So it could be the same exact card you grabbed, or you could set up another play for your turn. Like you use this on your opponent's turn when you already have a drum there to set up a cymbal or a tambourine, and then combo with the drum to have the drum come into play. So I think either way, great option. And that's basically what it does. This effect also triggers your piano, so you get to draw a card. You're also able to set up double combos on your opponent's turn, on your turn, to set up 2 of these guys on the field at the same time, or even on your opponent's turn because it's activate battle for your leader. So that way your opponent might think, okay, he has 1 guy, but he's not going to have 2. This guy gives you 2. And there's nothing that prevents you from playing multiples of these. So if you have multiple energy up and you have the 2, you could just burn both of them at the same time. Now, finally, for the moment we all been waiting for, we're going to get into the unison. Piccolo Jr., Descendant of the King. Calling it right now, might be best red unison. It might actually be. It's the best 2 costs of unison in the game. Calling that right now. This card does so much that I cannot envision another unison being as good as it. Zeno is very close. Zeno is very close at the 2 cost unison spot. But I don't think that anything is better than this guy. So he has an auto that's not once per turn that says if your opponent activates a counter, you get to pop one of their battle cards 15k power or less. So if they have a wide board, say with Buinis, and you're coming in and they're trying to stop you from playing the game, he says, nah, I'm just going to clear your board as compensation. +1, draw a card. Good on its own. -2, choose up to 1 of your battle cards with an energy cost of 3 or less. So that's this guy, these guys. And then you get to choose any number of your opponent's battle cards in the battle area with power equal to or less than that card and KO it. So that allows you to use this ability to pump this guy or play this dude, or even have this guy's ability on his own, pop 20Ks or less on your opponent's side of the field. This guy pumping one of these guys allows you to kill anything larger than that, basically. Once this guy swings and restands, you can activate this and you can take out SCRs and lower. So that's pretty stupid. But on top of that, that skill gives him Rejuvenate for 2 markers and, of course, a card from underneath him. So for 4 total markers, you get a board wipe and you get to heal. And because you have Symbol feeding additional counters to him, he's probably still out there on the board after you did that. That is the reason why I think it's pretty stupid. If you have access to the Bardock promo, it gets even worse than that, because you could just play the Bardock promo, put 3 counters on it, tick it down, choose the Bardock promo, pop 20Ks or less, rejuve, and probably still have 3 or 4 counters on this guy between Symbol and his own tick up that he did before. Tell you. And he's 15K. And so I honestly don't see a weakness in this guy. I think he's pretty stupid. Because we're playing a strong unison, we have to have the free stuff. So we have Yamcha and Wolfing. Yamcha is good right now because of Arrival/Alliance decks. So you're talking about the launches, other versions of King Piccolo, where they're trying to spam the board with guys and then go in and pump up one dude. You could just be like, okay, you play that guy, I take all the guys that you would use to pump him. Now he's kind of dead. Now you have to exert more resources, stuff like that. Wolfang Fist, -15, whatever is coming in to attack, except for unisons. So it's great for protecting your unison. It's good for dealing with certain pesky guys with barrier. So, you play them. Topo. You're playing red. Why not? Granted, if you have Violet Rays, you can play Violet Rays, but I think Topo in general is a better card. Except for in the matchups where you really want Violet Rays. In which case, if you don't have Violet Rays, and you want to be able to deal with those matchups off the sideboard, just run the Roshi. It does, 80% of Violet Rays, and that 80% is what you're really looking for. Then lastly, Dependable Warrior Piccolo. I think this is basically the consensus super combo of choice for this deck. It's 4K or less, not 4K, 4 life or less, draw a card, always 0-10K. It's an Namekian, so you could combo with it out of your life with your leader skill. It's searchable by both of these cards right here. And yeah, there's not much more you can say about it. There's not a game I played where I did not have all 4 copies come to my hand throughout the course of the first 3 to 4 turns of the game. Also, I played the game a little bit more conservatively than others. So where I could probably just win games on turn 3 and whatnot and be like, yay. I usually like to go turn 4. And yeah, this super combo is just amazing. Only problem that comes up is that it does require 4 or less life. And granted, we mentioned that you start at 6. But because of all the options in the deck and how powerful it is, a lot of times I'm not even below 6. Like I might take that first hit, go back up to 6, and never come back below it. Sometimes even going to 7 due to the Piccolo Jr. Unison. So that's the only downside about this. Like if he was a sparking one or something like that, it might have been a little bit better, but great super combo nonetheless. So sorry this video was kind of long, but a lot of new cards, and this is a deck laid completely out. There's a bunch of tournament promos. There's some overwhelm you can run in this if you want to experiment with it. I'll go ahead. But this is my current build of it. Those of you that follow me on Instagram know that I do post my updates there. I also do YouTube shorts on them if I feel a need to do so, which I might start doing more of on some of the decks I did in the past. Join me this Thursday where I will be playing this in my weekly online locals from Bad Beats. I'll leave a link down below so that you could also join the movement playing these online locals. They're fun. their webcam events, and you can win money by topping. And the more the merrier in that case. So this is it. Join me. You'll see how the deck plays, so you can decide at that point whether or not you want to invest your hard-earned cash into it. And that's it right there. So this is VG Time, signing out.